Walk into any grocery store today and everything looks normal. Carts rolling, music playing, lines moving. But spend enough time watching what is actually on those shelves and a completely different picture emerges. A major retail analytics firm projected that close to 8,000 stores will shut down across America this year while fewer than 6,000 new locations open. That gap is accelerating. Nearly 30 million Americans already live where the nearest full-service supermarket is more than 10 miles away. But the real story is not which stores are closing. It is what is quietly disappearing from the shelves of the ones still operating. For several months I have been visiting stores across multiple states, deliberately tracking what is stocked, what is running low, and what has disappeared. A clear pattern has emerged around 9 specific items. These shortages do not happen dramatically. A small gap appears first. A temporarily unavailable tag shows up. Eventually the tag disappears too because the store stopped expecting a restock. The people who have noticed are not panicking. They are quietly adding a couple extra items per trip, building a buffer while everything is still accessible. Here is exactly what is vanishing and what you should do before the window closes. Number 1. Canned butter. Until recently I had not seriously considered canned butter. Then at a farm supply store I watched an elderly woman methodically clear an entire shelf of roughly 18 cans without any urgency. When I asked what she was doing, she explained her family survived the Great Depression, and according to her grandmother, butter consistently vanished first during hard times and returned last. That conversation led me to research the production landscape. Only 3 companies in the United States manufacture genuine shelf-stable canned butter. Recently 2 of those 3 hit serious setbacks. One dealt with a facility fire. The other faces a shortage of metal cans needed for packaging. Demand rising while supply contracts is a shortage formula. Properly stored canned butter remains viable for 5 to 10 years, far beyond the few weeks a refrigerated stick lasts. Number 2. Evaporated milk. This took 3 months of consistent visits to recognize. Small gaps where pull-tab evaporated milk usually sat, then partially bare shelves, then entire sections empty. The pull-tab matters. In any disrupted situation, opening a can without hunting for a separate tool makes a real difference. The product itself is underrated. Evaporated milk delivers roughly 16 grams of protein per cup in a shelf-stable format. I spent 2 weeks substituting it for fresh milk in everything my family eats, and nobody noticed the difference. A veteran distribution manager explained the supply issue directly. When dairy producers face capacity constraints, shelf-stable products get deprioritized because fresh milk and cheese generate higher margins. Evaporated milk gets produced less frequently and shipped in smaller quantities. Structural, not temporary. Number 3. Canned tomato paste. A few weeks ago I visited 3 stores for tomato paste. All 3 had completely empty shelves. One had a handwritten note reading limited availability. A longtime stock clerk told me their supplier had been on backorder for 6 weeks, with management telling staff not to expect normal inventory until next year. The core vulnerability is geographic. California produces roughly 95% of all processed tomatoes in the country. Water restrictions, labor shortages, and rising costs are squeezing that supply from multiple directions. When packaging costs rise, food companies shift toward higher margin products, and small tomato paste cans fall to the bottom of that list. During a 3-week personal experiment eating exclusively from emergency supplies, by week 2 everything tasted identical. Adding tomato paste changed everything. Plain rice became Spanish rice. Canned beans became chili. That transformation ability is irreplaceable. Number 4. Bulk yeast. Tracking 8 stores since January, every single one experienced at least 2 periods where yeast was completely absent for a week or longer. Last month 4 of the 8 were simultaneously out of stock. Store managers gave nearly identical answers. Suppliers were not delivering consistent shipments, and no resolution timeline existed. One procurement manager told me yeast had been added to their internal red list, reserved for products they cannot guarantee keeping in stock. The problem is straightforward. When home baking surged a few years ago, manufacturers scaled up production. When interest cooled, capacity was dialed back. But millions kept baking, so today's baseline demand is substantially higher while production returned to lower levels. Vacuum-sealed 1-pound yeast bricks in a freezer stay viable for 5 years or more, each equivalent to over 60 individual packets. Number 5. Shelf-stable bacon. About 18 months ago, I bought a single pouch of fully cooked vacuum-sealed bacon out of curiosity. Warmed it for 30 seconds and was genuinely surprised. It tasted like real bacon. I went back and bought 20 more pouches. What makes this matter goes beyond protein. During a multi-day winter power outage, my household had been eating cold canned food for 3 straight days. When electricity returned and I heated that bacon in a pan, the smell alone transformed the atmosphere. My kids' moods lifted almost instantly. That psychological shift during prolonged stress is significant and hard to replicate with any other single food item. Several brands that used to be consistently stocked have quietly moved to backorder. Some appear discontinued entirely. Number 6. Bulk bouillon. Not the small grocery store boxes with a dozen cubes, but large commercial containers holding 200 or more that used to be reliable warehouse staples but now frequently are unavailable. 1 cube makes approximately 1 cup of broth for about 5 cents, while equivalent canned broth costs around $2. 200 cubes fit inside a shoebox-sized container. The real value is transformation. Plain rice cooked in bouillon-based liquid becomes a satisfying meal. Beans simmered with bouillon become something you actually want to eat. I have 800 cubes stored for roughly $60 total, about 7 cents per serving. That is hard to beat. Number 7. Canned sardines and mackerel. I avoided sardines for most of my life. Then I started researching which shelf-stable foods deliver the best nutritional value per dollar, and sardines topped nearly every category, especially omega-3 fatty acids, where one can often exceed what fish oil supplements provide. I committed to eating them twice weekly for a full month. The first few cans were unpleasant. By the fourth, something clicked. By month's end, I was choosing them voluntarily and noticing real differences in focus and energy. 3 years ago, a quality can cost around $2. Today, the same product often runs $4 or more, and shelves are frequently bare. A 100% price increase combined with declining availability reflects sustained global fishery pressure, not a temporary blip. Number 8. Cooking oil in large containers. 2 years ago, a gallon of vegetable oil cost around $6. Last month I paid $13 for the same size. Conflict disrupted sunflower oil supply. Regulatory restrictions limited palm oil output. Rise in grain costs pushed soybean oil prices upward. None of these pressures are resolving soon. Most people miss that dietary fat is not optional nutrition. Staple foods most households store, rice, beans, grains, canned vegetables, contain almost no fat on their own. Relying exclusively on those foods creates serious deficiencies within weeks. A few tablespoons of cooking oil daily bridges that gap entirely. Keep roughly 12 gallons stored and rotate the oldest container into everyday cooking every 2 months, replacing it immediately. Number 9. Honey in large containers. Honey genuinely does not spoil. Low moisture content, acidic pH, and natural antimicrobial chemistry make it inhospitable to the microorganisms that degrade virtually every other food. Archaeologists have recovered honey from ancient Egyptian tombs that remain perfectly edible after thousands of years. From a storage standpoint, it is essentially permanent. The problem is large format containers. Small jars remain available, but multi-pound jugs have become difficult to source consistently. Bee colony decline combined with tighter import scrutiny has pushed prices up substantially. Honey also has documented wound care and antibacterial applications beyond the kitchen. When large containers are in stock, the cost per ounce math strongly favors buying more than you immediately think you need. Here is the only action that matters. You do not need to overhaul your budget. On your next 3 grocery trips, add just 2 items from this list to your cart. 2 extra items per trip, done consistently, and within a few weeks you will find yourself looking at a pantry that provides genuine security for your household, built quietly through ordinary shopping. The people best positioned 6 months from now are acting today while these items are still available and affordable. Not when shortages make headlines. Not when shelves are visibly empty. Start this week. Pick 2 items. Stay calm, stay consistent, and take care of your people. If this opened your eyes to what is actually happening, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. No fluff, just the truth.